Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on our channel. Today we are working on this little blower for one of our customers because we don't have any of this Echo stuff in our arsenal of tools. We usually use all steel stuff. There's Sky. Hi, it's the day after Thanksgiving, so we're a little slow today. And it's raining again. So, let me flip around. What do we do on rainy days? We fix our junk. Yes, we have lots of junk. So today is going to be a shop day and we're going to fix more junk. So let me flip it back around here. There we go. I'm so crafty with the camera. So this particular blower, she starts up and she idles, but it just won't, it won't rev up and it won't make any power. So we're going to go through a few steps. Obviously, the first thing we're going to do anytime we have any small piece of equipment is we pull this spark plug out here and we do a compression test, because if you don't have any compression, you're just wasting your time doing anything else. So that's where we're going to start. Give me a minute and we'll be right back. For the sake of videos, we're going to do compression test. We have our little compression tester here and see how we're making out. I usually always put it on full throttle. This has a little lock on it so we can leave the throttle on full. And I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna come across over here and do this with my right hand. I tend to have better luck that way. Okay. Seems like it has good compression. All right, can you see that? Look at that, 125. 125 is a good number to have. So good news is we have compression. So we can check that off the list as reasons why this machine's not gonna work. Plus it does start in idle, so I already kind of knew it had compression because you wasn't. But this is the thing you should always do. So anyway, we are going to take this out and then we're going to the next thing on the list. We'll be right back. List for this one because, like I said, I knew it had compression because it idled anyway. It's just not throttling up. We did check. We did put it. We have a new plug there that we'll put in just for the sake of it. But I really think it's a fuel situation. So a lot of times on these small engines, these little rubber hoses break in the tank. There's a little filter on the end of it that sits in there. And a lot of them, they just rot out and they fall. So sometimes it's just simply not getting fuel. But I think on this particular one, it's a carburetor issue. So we're gonna take this apart and we're gonna see what the carburetor looks like and see if that is what our problem is. Pretty easy to remove carburetor on these things here. I think it's just a couple of 2 bolts. This is usually the most common issue. Like I said, people leave gas in or they don't use the fuel stabilizer for the winter, which you should use in all your equipment. All right, so let's pop this out. Let's see what we got here. Not pretty easy. Just fell right off the machine. That's pretty good. There it goes. Some fuel in there. All right, so we're gonna pop these hoses off. We're gonna pull this carburetor off, and then we're gonna take a look inside and see what it looks like. We'll be right back. Okay, so we checked our fuel lines here. Our fuel lines are clear. The filter's good in there. Nothing's broken. These aren't cracked, so it's not an issue of it not getting fuel. We pulled the carburetor off. Now, this particular carburetor, unlike the old ones, there's no more high and low adjustment screw, because why would you have one of those on there? Because that usually always fixes your problem. But this carburetor, we took it apart real quick, like I said, and it is a lot of gummed up crystallized gas in there. So this is really telling me it's probably what's going to be wrong with this machine. we went on to Amazon because that's everyone's favorite place to go. Got ourselves a new World, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. I usually go for those because I think it was like $31 or something. And you get a whole pretty quality replacement carburetor with everything that you need on it. They do have some cheaper ones. Maybe you'll save 10 bucks, but with my luck on the cheaper ones, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So, you know, I could probably take this thing apart. I could probably clean it. I could probably soak it, but how much am I going to charge the customer for all that time and my labor? So we're not even going to play games with that. We got a nice replacement carburetor here. We're going to put this carburetor on and we're going to see what happens. It's kind of a gamble, but I'm pretty positive that this is what goes on. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we've installed our new carburetor. We got all our lines hooked back up. We got our throttle on there. We gotta check that. Looks like it's working. We put a new spark plug in just for the sake of it, because why not? Okay. So we know we have compression. We know we have spark because it idled. We didn't even have to check that. The fuel situation should be good, so we have everything hooked up. And we use our little bubbler. Yeah. People like to over bubble. Don't over bubble. Just bubble until you see fuel in the bubble. I know it's really hard to see on the camera. And this bubble is on the bottom of the carburetor, but it's a new one, so we're gonna get it going there. All right, so now that we got everything back together, minus the fuel filter, but we might have to spray some carb cleaner in there to get it started. We're gonna open up the door and we're gonna give it a shot. So we'll be right back. Okay, so just a follow-up on what actually happened here and why it would not run. It was a combination of bad fuel. The customer had left fuel in it from the year before, typical scenario. And the carburetor, which we showed you before, was all gummed up, and like I said, how many hours are you gonna spend? So we got the Amazon carburetor, we flushed out the fuel, we put it all in, and it seems to be working perfectly fine now. So I think that would be the solution to this one. And we're gonna fire it up and see how she runs. All right, so let's see, with the choke, we'll give it a bubble. Gotta put the switch to on for this one. Let's see what happens. So that's it, folks. Quick, kind of easy repair on this one. We went over some extra stuff just to, you know, the compression test, all that kind of, just to make sure it was good. But really, run it out of fuel in the end of the season, or use the fuel stabilizer. Because if you leave the fuel in there too long, it's typical. It happens to almost every one of these little two-stroke engines or lawn mowers, whatever it is. So I hope this video helped you, and have a great day. Thank you.